we're all from different.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered as always by our friends over at Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our crew online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. You can always shop them there if you want to search new cars in LaPlace, Louisiana. If you're looking for used cars right here in Baton Rouge at Go Express Auto Sales. Really looking forward to today's show. We're going to talk to John Emery, LSU running back, at 8:30 this morning. John's going to be through here in the studio. He is representing the G Squad, Gordon McKernan and the crew. Just signed John to an NIL deal. We'll talk to John about his offseason, obviously about the adversity that he's facing going into the season. Coach Brian Kelly asked again about Emery's status yesterday, and again, Coach Kelly reiterated he's in very good standing with the football program. In fact, he's in very good standing with the academic institution. He's just got some things that's out of the current regime's control and the current control of Emery, really. I mean, it's something for it's a sin in his past that he is paying a debt for that's really just unfathomable to think that he still has to miss 2 games after missing the entire junior season. We'll talk to John about where he is mentally going into this Saturday, the following Saturday versus Southern, and then hopefully getting everything behind him and ready for his senior season. That coming up at 8:30 this morning, so make sure you jump inside of the chat. And then about 20 minutes from now, Robert Brock, who is a LSU grad and actually a former LSU athlete, but now a sports agent, is going to be in studio with us. He actually reps Dejon Dixon, who had one of the standout camp performances for the New Orleans Saints, and really is a guy that is going to be, I got to imagine, being discussed in depth before tomorrow's 3 o'clock deadline, in which NFL has to trim their roster to 53. Really looking forward to our conversation with the sports agent Robert Brock coming up here about everything, man. Just about recruiting these athletes, what it's like going through these negotiating processes, what it's like now, like standing in the position where Dixon sits in just, a little over 24 hours. He'll know kind of what the next year of his professional life is going to look like. What are those hours like? How many teams are you talking to? How do you go about recruiting? What's his relationship like with his former school in LSU? All of that coming up at 7:30 this morning. So really looking forward to that conversation. Make sure you hit the like button, the share button, the comment button as we get going here on this Tuesday. That helps us out tremendously. And as always, we appreciate you starting your day here with us. Brian Kelly opens up game week, LSU Florida State, with what will be his weekly press luncheon over at the Bob Lawton Room, adjoined to Tiger Stadium right there. Really cool room, very comfortable for the media, easy setup, easy for the head coach to kind of get in, get out, and get his message. Again, another, I thought, clear example of just how forward Brian Kelly is in the communication. Let's start with the quarterback, because that's what everybody's talking about. Obviously, he did not name the quarterback yesterday, and he did it for what he called tactical reasons. Look, I don't think that this is a big deal. In fact, I think this goes more into a little gamesmanship from Kelly, because if you're Mike Norvell, in fact, we are going to talk to Mike Norvell tomorrow here on the Jordy Culotta Show. It'll be some afternoon programming. We'll discuss behind the scenes whether we go live for it or not. Either way, we'll be able to put it out to you tomorrow afternoon. We'll ask him about the preparation process, because think about it. If you're Mike Norvell in Florida State, right now you're watching film, or at least you got to watch film, on Garrett Nussmeier at LSU last season, Jaden Daniels at Arizona State last season, Brian Kelly at Notre Dame last year, Mike Denbrock at Cincinnati. Hell, you probably are watching a little bit of Joe Sloan at Louisiana Tech to pick up some tendencies on what he likes to do. But if you come out yesterday and you said Daniels is the starter, well, you slimmed down the workload for Florida State's defensive staff this week, going into, week 2 for them and week 1 for LSU. Again, a small advantage for LSU not having played last week versus Florida State getting on the field and playing against Duquesne. I just think from the gamesmanship standpoint of where Brian Kelly sits, he knows who it is. And if I was betting today and I was at the window, I'd put my money on Jaden Daniels, right? But I've also stated and believe, as Brian Kelly kind of alluded to yesterday, it's still going to take a minute before you really figure out who it is. And the difference between these guys is really like an eyelash, it sounds like. And they're very similar in skill set. Somebody asked a question yesterday at the media press luncheon of, Coach, has it been almost refreshing that these guys aren't polar opposites from one another, that you don't have to change your entire technique when one guy plays rather than the other, right? So I think you see both of those guys on Sunday evening inside the Caesars Superdome. I still think you see both of those guys next weekend in the home opener versus Southern. I think that you'll probably get another taste of them, even versus Mississippi State in week 3, of still giving both of these guys first-team reps. And you may not have it figured out until you come out of the month of September. And even when you have it figured out, I still believe you might play both because of just the skill set that they offer. So I thought Brian Kelly yesterday talking about the quarterbacks, I didn't think that it was that big of a deal of not naming a starter. In fact, I think it plays into a little bit of the gamesmanship of, not having played versus your opponent having played, going into week 2 for Florida State versus week 1 for LSU. You want to keep it close to the vest? All good, man.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So LSU fans won't know until, he's not even going to announce anything. You won't know until somebody trots out there for 15-minute mark, first quarter?
Sounds like it.
All right.
Sounds like it. And you know what? I'm good with it.
Me too.
Because that's the first time that Florida State's defensive staff is going to see it too. And so now you say, hey, look, all that film we watched on Nussmeier to start doesn't mean anything right now. And then Nussmeier comes in Series 3, Series 4, and you're saying, fellas, get that stuff back up. You know what I mean? I think that LSU sits in a pretty good spot where, look, I'm not a fan of the 2-quarterback system. I think that they got 2 guys that they really trust to play at a high level, and they're not that much difference between one of them. And they might play them both all year.
That was my next question I was going to ask you. If this is just a week 1 through week 3 thing, or do you see this where they're always going to have somebody kind of in the back pocket, all right, Nussmeier go out there, Jaden go out there? Is it like a hot hand situation?
I don't know if it's going to...
think it's like series of packages built in?
Yeah, I think it's going to be where you can change the pace of the game. I think that Jaden Daniels' speed is... We haven't seen that at the quarterback position at LSU since maybe Perilou.
I think he's faster than Perilou.
And I think he's probably faster
probably
than
not as good
Ryan
at the thrower.
Perilou. Right. But he's got, game-breaking speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could take a quarterback sweep 70 yards easily and outrun everybody. So, I think if you have that threat at the position, I think it's always an option to play him. I just don't know how you could get away from playing that in 2022 when that's
such a threat.
If he's become more accurate, which by all accounts he has, and we've seen him out there in some of the practices that we were able to see, he's obviously gotten more accurate. And, from the athleticism standpoint of just being able to run it and be special in that skill set, he's got that. So, I still think that Nussmeier, from just a pure quarterbacking standpoint, is, he checks more of the boxes, but I believe that you can win at this level with both of them. And LSU sits at a very convenient spot. And I've always subscribed to the theory of if you've got 2 point guards, you don't have one. If you've got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. If you've got 2 shortstops, you don't have one. This could be the outlier for me, really. And I don't mean to kind of, backtrack and try to cop out on it, but I really believe that they could start Jaden Daniels or Nussmeier against Alabama and have just as good a chance to win either way they go. I really do. I think that from just watching those guys, hearing guys talk about the preparation in the summer, they really believe they have 2 quarterbacks that they can win at this level with. And you don't see that in today's game. Guys that are at this point of where they are. Daniels, obviously his experience, and Nussmeier's played limited last year. was able to keep his red shirt. But, you know, I mean, if Nussmeier would have known that Daniels would have been named the starter, I wonder what he would have done in March. You know, I don't know. But he's here now, and you've got both of them on the roster, and I think that he utilizes both of them. I really do. And I definitely think he will over the next 3 weeks. And I think you see them both on Sunday night. The other interesting thing that jumped out was the offensive line, right? I mean, we talked about some of the combinations that they were looking at on the offensive line, and when you just kind of say it out loud, you know, this offensive line looked like they had really gained some depth in the spring and into the summer, and really looked like they got some numbers here in the fall. But when you say out loud what they're trotting out there on Sunday, you got a lot of first-timers. You know, you got a lot of first-timers in key roles. I mean, let's just go left to right, right? Will Campbell's a true freshman. Enough said, right? Miles Frazier transferred in from Florida International, played a ton of football, right? But at a very lower level, we can all agree. And I'm not by any means demeaning the football that Miles Frazier has played. On Saturday, that's as high a level, or Sunday, when Sunday gets here, that's as high a level as football as Miles Frazier's ever played when he plays on Sunday night. And he's doing it at a position that he doesn't necessarily know. He's doing it at left guard. Last year, he played tackle and has played tackle pretty much his whole life. So he's doing that for the first time in a huge environment for him. So you got Campbell, a true freshman. You got Frazier transferred in, lower level football, playing for the first time in a position that he's never played before. Center is Garrett Dellinger. He's never played that spot. He's never played center in his life. You ask people around the building, they would probably tell you unanimously, or he would probably get the majority of the votes, that he's probably the best offensive lineman on the team, or the one that they trust the most going into the season, which is why I believe they asked him to handle that role, right, of playing center. Just, hey, man, we trust you. We believe that you can handle this. Can you do it? Yes. So Garrett Dellinger's starting at center for the first time. Right guard is going to be Anthony Bradford, who for the majority of the camp and for his entire, really, football life has been a tackle. So he's kicking down to play guard. And then Cam Wire's got, I think he's got 10 starts collectively, I think, somewhere around there. But he, by far, the most starts on that offensive line coming in. So, I mean, look, I think that they got to their best five. That's what they wanted to do. They just said, hey, look, find the best five guys and put them out there. It doesn't matter where position, what's going on with, you know, their experience, their past, all of that stuff. Just put the best five out there. And that's what they've landed on. Again, like we talked about quarterback, I still think you see names here. I still think on Sunday evening you'll see other guys coming in the game and playing and getting extended time. I think Tremont Shorts is going to play. I think Emery Jones will probably get a series or two. Maybe not two. But I think that he plays a couple of snaps. You just want to see him out there, right? Charles Turner may get some reps. You know, I mean, I still think that there's guys that they're looking at and still trying to figure out what this lineup is going to really look like come October, November, into the postseason. So, I thought that Kelly was as much as, you know, people are saying he didn't name the quarterback. I thought he was pretty forthright yesterday. You know, I mean, I thought he gave you your starting five on what his offensive line is going to look like. He told you about the Emery situation. I mean, it's obvious how they feel about the team going in to Sunday. So it'll be interesting, man. It's here, though. You know, I mean, that's one thing that's for sure. I mean, you can get that feeling being in that room yesterday and, you know, seeing Brian Kelly up there for the first time representing LSU in that press-type environment, in that press-type setting, leading into it. It's, you know, I mean, you're really starting to get the feels of football season being right here. I mean, it's Sunday evening, you'll be talking about what LSU is going to look like on the field. He did update Malik Neighbors, talked about Neighbors being in rehab and looking like he'll be getting, back into form. And it'll be interesting to see how they use them. They've talked so much about wanting to use what they call 11 personnel. And, look, man, by no means am I some football savant, so I'm not going to try to talk around. 11 personnel means you got one tight end, you got one running back, and you got 3 wide receivers on the field. So if you ever hear somebody talk about 11 personnel, just think you got one running back, one tight end, there's your 11. But your other personnel grouping is wide receivers where you got trips, you got 3 wides. Right? They like to run a lot of this, what they call 11 personnel. And Kelly has alluded to he wants to have tight ends on the field. But it really doesn't suit their roster this season to play that the majority of the time. I love Mason Taylor. I think Mason Taylor is going to make a huge impact, and his freshman season is really just going to light the wick on this explosion that I think he's going to have over the next 2 years, ultimately until he's 3 years and gone into the NFL. I mean, you talk about check the boxes. This true freshman has it all. He's got it all. But I think in an ideal world, you would like a couple of veteran guys in the room to try and show him the ropes. Not the case for Mason Taylor, it's just not the case. He comes in from South Florida. They're looking at him like, yo, man, first series, opening drive, game 1, you're playing. And we might throw you the ball. You got to block too. They're putting a lot of responsibility on both the Taylor guys, both the Taylors, Cole Taylor and Mason Taylor, to really be a threat at that position. I still think you got Mashburn there that's, stepped up. But from playing that 11 personnel, whoever you want to put at the tight end spot, I still think you can put 3 wide receivers out there with Malik Neighbors in the slot, keep the, ultimately keep the strong safety out of the box, keep that extra guy out of the box because, what are you going to do? Leave Malik Neighbors out there? So, I still think that you can run the football like Brian Kelly wants to do that. You know what I mean? Like, Brian Kelly, I think, wants to ultimately establish the run with his offense. And he's done that routinely. Hell, he's told us all spring, summer, offseason since he's been here, he wants to play with tight ends on the field. He wants to establish the run. His first roster to LSU doesn't have the best selection of ready tight ends. Don't let me, by any means, dump on the Taylor bros because they may get it right. They may figure it out. They may be able to do this stuff come October. They're just a little unproven at it. We've seen a lot of Cole Taylor. I think they're asking him to do a little bit something different here this season. And Mason Taylor, he was playing high school football last year. So,
But he went out of his way to mention him yesterday.
Yes.
Mason Taylor. So that gives me thought that he's, like you said, not only is he going to play, he's going to be a part of the game plan. Like you mentioned going 11 personnel, I think you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel too. You're going to see 2 tight ends on the field. We went to that scrimmage on Saturday, I guess 2 Saturdays ago. There was a lot of Jack Mashburn, there's a lot of Cole Taylor, and a lot of Mason Taylor. But Mason Taylor is the one you'll see the most of. I think he will be, whether it be 12 personnel with 2 tight ends or 11 with 1, I think Mason Taylor's going to be your guy out there. Like he's going to be, I think he'll be the starter.
Oh, I think so too.
And I think he's going to be a part of the game plan. Like, obviously, I don't want to get too far away of what LSU has on its roster. And I think everybody can agree that the strength of the team is the wide receivers. So, obviously, you put 2 tight ends in there, you're sacrificing 1. But BK has an offensive game plan that he's going to ride with that he's done pretty much his entire career. However, I would like to see a Malik Neighbors out there, Jack Besh out
Absolutely.
there, and
well, just say
Tayshaun all at the same time.
Say out loud what they have and what they're dealing with. We just gave you the starting offensive line that he deemed on Monday, who's going to trot out there first on Sunday. All of those guys, all of them are, for the most part, first-timers, very inexperienced, and going out there with a lot of questions. All of those guys individually, I love. You know what I mean? Like Will Campbell, playa. You know what I mean? Let Miles Frazier, turn on the film, looks like a player. Garrett Dellinger, obviously, player. Anthony Bradford, you kind of been waiting for the light to go on. Hopefully this is it, because if it does, he's a pro. And then Cam Wires played a lot of football. Individually, love them. They hadn't played a lot together. And that's one position group like quarterback, wide receiver, quarterback, center, where linebacker, safety, where you just got to have chemistry. You've got to be able to communicate where you got 100,000 people screaming down at you, but you can still hear each other talking because I know what you're telling me. Or at least I know we've played together long enough where I can read your eyes and I know what you're telling me. Like all of that, you can't fake that. You can't create that on the practice field. You can't, make that. You just got to go out there and play. You just got to go get reps. So, that's what's plaguing some of these. Like I said, some of these guys, they might come out of this and they might be great when they're playing together. But right now, think about it. There's a lot of uncertainty out front. So I would think that you put a guy like Jaden Daniels back there with Malik Neighbors, Kayshon Boutte, Jack Besh, Noah Kane around you, and just get the ball out of your hand. You're not just going to sit back there and try to read the defense and try to go through progressions. Your offensive line hasn't answered enough questions to allow you to make those types of calls. And if you watch what Mike Denbrock's run at Cincinnati, even Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, obviously they want to run the ball first. But when it comes to throwing the ball, it's not like they're pushing the ball down the field and they're taking 5-7 play action type drops and trying to, read you and throw it. Just snap it and whip it out to Malik Neighbors. Get Kayshon, in a one-on-one situation where you can kind of that's one thing I'm looking forward to seeing Brian Kelly. He can manipulate defenses. He can kind of move the coverage. So Kayshon's playing one-on-one. Just snap it, throw it to him. Put him in space, let him make one guy miss, and go UCLA. I think that early on, it's going to be very much of hide your weaknesses, play to your strengths. Strength of the LSU team right now is at wide receiver on offense. There's a lot of question marks up front. Even at running back, I still think they're probably curious about how are these guys going to perform in their starting role if it's Noah Kane or Armani Goodwin. Quarterback, a lot of question marks. But still, I think they got a huge advantage come Sunday versus Florida State. We'll talk more about it. It's going to be a great matchup on Sunday between LSU, Florida State. Like I said, we'll talk more about it. John Emery is going to be through here an hour from now. He will be representing our guy, the G Squad, Gordon McKernan and the crew over there. And he will be through here talking about the offseason. But next, we're going to talk to Robert Brock, who is a certified NFL agent. He's the CEO of PLAN365 Sports. He represents Dejon Dixon, big tight end down in New Orleans, and a guy that is going to be right there on the 53. It's going to come down to the wire, and Dixon is a name who is on the line and could not have done any more in training camp to make himself known, relevant, and a name that the Saints front office and coaching staff has to be kicking around and debating. What are they going to do? Do they keep him, or do you practice squad him, or what are the options? We'll find out from his agent. Next here, Robert Brock here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered, as always, by Go Chevrolet. Don't forget about our friends over at Dead Soxy. Check out the promo code. Just use it, Jordy, over there at deadsoxy.com. It's football week, man. It's game week. If you need custom-designed LSU socks, including the Burrows, including the state of Louisiana's, they got the Fleur-de-Lis, they got the Goes with the GEAUX over at deadsoxy.com. You can pick those up, and if you use the promo code Jordy, you'll save yourself 35% over there. Deadsoxy.com. Use the promo code Jordy. Save up to 35% on custom design socks like we have right here in between our set on set here in studio. In fact, Robert Brock is going to throw Lloyd out of that seat next, and we will talk to the sports agent about what could be next for some of his clients and what it's like being an NFL agent in today's NFL. Next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks. Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team.
make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Best athlete to come out of New Iberia, Mark Roman?
Kayshawn Buddha.
Kayshawn? Wow.
Right now, Kayshawn, and Mark was a little bit before me. I was a ball boy when Mark was playing at New Iberia Senior High School. I played like right after Mark, but Kayshawn just has done some things, and just the things that you guys are seeing Kayshawn do, that he's not even scratching the surface of what we saw on a day-to-day basis at practice. He's unreal. He's unreal.
He's so natural. It's so so easy. It looks so easy to him.
Yes, it's so easy, and there's never been another a competitor I've ever seen like Kayshawn. Kayshawn would not lose going to eat pregame meal. He has to be the first. He is the ultimate competitor. He would not lose. So trust me, he will be ready.
Man, so kind of when I entered the transfer portal, I knew, what type of facility, what type of, program I wanted to go to. Being that before I committed to Ohio State, my first unofficial was to LSU.
Oh, wow.
And but that was when Coach O and Court Raymond was here or whatever. But definitely the coaches, the scheme Kelly, trying to bring in, trying to implement, his way of going, like detailed person. That's where I wanted to be. I know I want to be.
Did you have any experience with Coach Kelly?
No, I had no experience. No.
Really? Who was your main recruiter from LSU?
Sherman Wilson. Yeah, he was, stay consistent, honest, just gave it to me straight. Yeah. And this is where I wanted to be.
How do you feel about that number at this university playing that position?
Yeah, man, I definitely want it. He wanted to come in and prove, to my teammates, not just the coaches, but to my teammates that I got to go play with, that, I deserve it. And once I do that, then, everything is, up from there.
We're all from different places and backgrounds.
Hey, Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
We've seen the BK takeover stuff from LSU and social media, and really in his short time in Baton Rouge, there's been a lot of people embracing his approach to building this roster. What's it like to recruit alongside him?
Oh, it's been great. Coach has been awesome to me because he lets me be myself when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to coaching. He lets his coaches coach, he lets his coaches recruit. So I have no complaints on that end. And when I need him to get in touch with a kid, he's there for me. The communication line has been great. He's just been nothing but supportive.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Don't forget about our friends over at WAFB, as our guy, Taylor O'Brien's on his way in this morning, and he's texting me about the traffic. It's just brutal out there, man.
Dude, I've been surprised how we haven't really been bitten here yet. Like, you obviously you're up way earlier than I am, but the drive over here used to be brutal last year, and right now we're still under the radar. So
man,
I don't want to jinx it.
Still doing
one of the things. Waking up early lets you kind of surf through. No traffic.
Right, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
But if you're looking to keep up with the traffic and with the weather, nobody does it better than our friends over at WAFB. Check out their online app, WAFB Plus. You can always download the app inside your Apple, Android stores, wherever you may find it. But up to the minute breaking news on weather, sports, and traffic. Get in touch with WAFB, WAFB.com. And if you want to check out our stuff over there, WAFB.com/Jordy. All right, Robert Brock, who is a former LSU student, a New Orleanian, and now a sports agent. And really looking forward to having this conversation just about what it's like to represent today's athlete, man, and going up against these CBAs and working around these slotted contracts. And really, you know, I mean, no disrespect, but ultimately, like, what's the value of the sports agent now with contracts being slotted? And do Lamar Jackson's happen more than we know, where he kind of represents himself? Robert Brock is here. He is Dejon Dixon's agent, who is the St. Aug alum out of New Orleans, who has had a just incredible training camp down in New Orleans, and is going to be on the doorstep of the 53, which gets trimmed down to 53 around the league tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central. Robert, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for making the trip in.
Anytime, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so first off, let's start with your client, Dejon Dixon. Man, he's all over the place. He's had a great training camp.
Yeah,
I got to imagine, from your standpoint, you're fired up. But just take me through this process of kind of where he is now.
So right now, it's actually today we find out. So today at 4 o'clock, the rosters get cut down to 53.
Dude, it's
So
today.
yeah, it's today.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
My
but
bad.
see,
I was giving you 24 more hours.
Right.
It's D-Day.
Right. Yeah, it's actually today, man. So they let a few guys go on Sunday, and then yesterday they had practice. So today we find out.
Holy cow. Wait, did I screw that? Did he go to car?
Yeah, he went to car. Yeah.
Man, I'm totally screwing
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up.
he
My
went to
bad,
car.
Dejon.
Yeah.
That's a sin
Yeah.
down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
he went
My
to car,
bad.
yeah.
Please, all of the Edna Carr fans out there, my fault. Dejon Dixon, former Carr standout.
Yeah.
But just his journey, bro. Like, what's it like representing someone who has scratched, clawed his way to where he is right now, which is ultimately on the doorstep of it?
It's pretty exciting, man. And the reason me and him hit it off when we first met, because it's like the same thing with me. You know, I didn't sign with like a big time agency or anything. I decided to do it on my own, you know, so we're both trying to climb the top together. But just seeing them put the work in, seeing them hustle, seeing them grind every day, it's a beautiful thing, you know. And we'll find out later today, all that hard work, you know, how it pays off.
So what are the options for a player like Dixon or anyone that's in this situation? I mean, if he's not 53, he'll be 54, right? I mean,
Right,
like he's
yeah.
going to be right
Right.
there. So
Exactly.
So what happens to him? Let's say if he is 54th, what happens?
So the thing about it is, even if they want to practice squad him, you still have to cut him. Like you have to go through waivers first.
24 hours, or no?
Yeah.
Like every team has a chance to sign.
Every
him?
team, yeah.
Okay.
So and that goes, you know, about like the record from last year. So there's going to be a lot of teams who will see his name in the waiver system. So and then if he comes back around to the Saints and the Saints want to claim him, that's how that'll work. But I think that'll be a little risky, you know.
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
that's why it's pretty interesting to see what's going to happen. And the Saints have so many interesting pieces, you know. Traquan Smith got hurt, so you just don't know what's going to happen. They have a lot of receivers. They're deep at receiver, but at the same time, you need depth. So
For sure.
it's just
What's his actual
tricky.
position?
Wide receiver.
So they have him there. Okay.
Yeah, he's a receiver. He's 6'4", 205. So he's probably like the biggest receiver on the roster. But he is the biggest receiver on the roster. So he did really well, man. Just can't wait to see what happens today.
So does your phone already begin to ring, or does it not ring until 3 o'clock today?
I'm pretty sure it's going to start ringing at 3 o'clock.
No doubt it does at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
But are people allowed to contact you?
No,
right
you
now?
can't. You
Okay.
can't do anything until he hits the waiver system.
Okay.
So once he hits that system, and you know, made
So
a
like, how's a
definite-
contract for a player like him work during training camp?
So it's already, like you say, it's already, everything's pretty much slided for rookies. So undrafted or drafted, it's already slided. He signed his contract already. You know, it's an undrafted deal, 3-year deal, but it's all slided already. You know, but the difference is, you know, if you're on a practice squad or active roster, then it'll change a little bit because practice squad gets less money. But yeah, it's pretty slided.
So the way that it works, right? Just so we're clear, if he makes the 53 today, no matter what happens to him moving forward, he could be a Pro Bowler, then play it down. He gets paid, like because he's made the 53 at 3 o'clock today.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
how it
for
works.
Sure.
Like that's
Yeah. So he's on the active roster, man. So once you're on the active roster, then you're good. Yeah.
Wow. So what's the recruiting process like for something like this?
Man, it's tricky, bro. If you're lucky, like I was just telling them, the guys before we got on, if you know somebody and you have major connections, then you can start a little bit later. But you really want to start like at least a year in advance. At least a year. You know, like you want to start in like January. You know what I'm saying? For like the next year's draft, because it's a process and it's a lot of agents who know people and people are connected. So you want to try to beat the big agents, the super agents, and they have a lot of connections, man. They can make one phone call and it's over it, you know? So a little fish like me, man, in the big pond, you want to start early, you know, try to build those connections, build those relationships.
Is it through family or school? Both?
It really depends. I have some guys, man, where I just talk to the parents. I have some guys where I just talk to them. I have some where I'll probably talk to a brother. It depends on the player, you know. For the most part, for me, though, I feel like it's really like the player. And then they'll probably throw in, like, you know, whoever's helping them, like the parent or mom, dad, or both. And then I'll sit down with the family.
What are your thoughts on NIL?
I like it, man. I like it for the players, but for the agent, for me personally, it would have to be like beneficial, you know, because it's a lot of moving pieces in that too, you know, and it's got to be worth it. And I know a lot of athletes, so they call me and ask me to look over some stuff, or if something, you know, hits my desk and it's an opportunity, then I'll, you know, bring it to the athletes that I know. But for me personally, like, it has to be worth it. But for the athletes, I love it. It's beautiful.
Does it give your competition an earlier start on recruiting? How does it speed up the time, or has that always been there?
The NIL?
Yeah, I mean, has people been recruiting Arch Manning already?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I actually know him, by the way, too. But It depends, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think it gives you like a crazy advantage, really, because you can sign like the agents, you can sign somebody to an NIL, but that doesn't guarantee he's going to sign with you because you can't sign them to your agency, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you can do all you want for the athlete, and then he can still sign with such and such on the back end. Yeah. You know, so that's why it's kind of tricky for me.
Right. What are your thoughts on the slot? Does the slotted contracts help or hurt your industry?
I think it helps, especially for like younger agents. I like it, bro. It gives the player the chance to prove themselves too. You know, it's like, all right, you got to go out there instead of coming out the gate and getting $80 million. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like, you know, it's slotted. You kind of know what you're getting, where you get drafted. So the thing about that, though, like, it's like a high end and like a low end, you know, so you can kind of negotiate between there. But
25 years ago, the agent did everything, right? Like, you were the money manager, you were the marketing manager, you were the one that were negotiating the contracts, you were the one that were building relationships within other industries for them to make sound finance, you know, investments. What is the role of the agent today? Now, when you look around, it seems like the athlete entertainers have someone for everything, right? So what is the responsibility of an agent today?
I think it's pretty much still the same, though. It just depends on the agency. Like, if you have everything in-house, I'm going to have everything in the house. Like, everything you need is going to be
full service.
One stop. Yeah, it's going to be one-stop shop. But you know, some agencies, you have to go get your marketing guy, or they hire marketing teams and, you know, stuff like that. And then, you know, with social media, so many companies are, you know, all you got to do is hit the guys up. So it's right there.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's different, you know. So It just depends, man. But if you have everything in house, I think it'll be better. You know, it'll benefit you more.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to call this person, go here, go there. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. Everything's in house.
Are you just NFL?
For now, yeah. But in January, well, the spring, I'll take the NBA test. I want to do MLB. I want to do boxing. I want to do everything, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That MLB money.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Never.
Guaranteed, coach.
Never,
it don't
man.
stop. That's the longest
Hey,
money,
yeah.
man.
I definitely want to, venture out and do every sport, man.
Yeah.
That's my goal. But right now, it's just football, yeah.
What's your relationship like with LSU?
It's pretty good. I know a couple coaches over there. I know a lot of players over there, so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How fierce is your industry? I mean, where does I'd imagine that does New Orleans give you a competitive advantage being that's where you're located?
It does, bro, because we're like the mecca of football.
Right.
So I'm right there. I live in New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans, so I get first dibs on who's coming out and stuff. So I know a lot of athletes. So
Yeah.
that's
I'd imagine like you've been knowing John Emery since he's been in high school.
Yeah,
Or just have heard of
Yeah,
him.
yeah, exactly.
You
So
know?
I've and then New Orleans is small, so you know people
Yeah.
who know people.
Absolutely.
So I know people.
Everybody's
who,
cousins.
Yeah, everybody. So everybody's like one phone call away. Like if you don't like John Emery, I'm pretty sure I know somebody who knows like his family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a great advantage. So my goal is to actually take over one day and just be the guy like in Louisiana.
For sure.
Like I'm a car rob and it's done. So that's my plan.
Social media has changed our industry. It's changed so many people's industry, so many workforces industries. How has it changed your world?
Man, just doing research and stuff and reading books on older agents and stuff. Like they had to do it totally different. Like now all I have to do, if I really want to get to you, I can just hit you up on social media. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, but it's right there. It takes literally 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So social media is powerful, man, if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
I connected with a lot of guys over social media. So and they're literally one DM away. So it's right there.
What is the agents test like in the NFL? What are they testing you on? Are they testing you on your legal skills, or are they just a common sense test?
No, it's not really legal or common sense. It's kind of like
It's like an insurance test?
yeah, but
Where it's like there's a specific thing that you should be studying in order to be able to pass.
Well, they give you the CBA.
Yeah.
So but it's
What's a CBA look like? Is it?
Yeah.
It's
like a encyclopedia.
Yeah, right.
It's a
We're gonna-
nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
I was scared.
Pass
bro, when
this
I
test
took it.
one. Yeah.
So the test is 3 hours, 60 questions, and it's open book. So a lot of people
which is
think,
more intimidating.
yeah, a lot of people think, oh, it's
Find
open
it.
book, it's easy, but it's not like that. It's not like you read this question and no, you still have to apply things, you know. So it's a lot of lawyers, man, who take the test and like they had a lawyer sitting next to me when he took it, and I was like, bro, are you good? Like after, and he was like, that was harder than the bar.
Damn.
Yeah, and I know lawyers, who failed it the first time. Like it's hard.
Do you mind me asking? Did you pass it the first time?
Oh, I passed. I had no choice. Like I'm like,
Right. I'm just saying, hey, coming
like,
back here.
I'd imagine it's bad for business if you fail the
yeah,
first time. You know what I mean?
so the thing about it too, you take it. It's only one time a year, and it's in July. So if you fail the first 2 times, you got to wait 5 years.
Oh.
So in my head, I'm like, bro, I got one time to do this. And the craziest thing about when I took it,
They tell you immediately?
nah, it takes a month.
Oh,
So it's like, man, after I took that test, I was in a room,
bro.
literally for like 2 days, because I'm like, I don't know
What to
I'm gonna
do.
if I and then it takes so long for the results to come in. It takes literally like 5 weeks.
So what did you do when you found out? Did you use your knees?
I cried. Yeah, I
bet.
cried. Yeah, I cried.
I bet.
I cried, bro. I seen that
I'm about to
the
cry.
email, I sent it to everybody.
Oh, it was an email.
Yeah, it was an
Oh
email.
my God.
And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even read it.
Oh my God.
Did
All
it
I
just
see
say
was
congrats?
congratulations.
Yeah, let's go.
And I snapshotted it and sent it to everybody. And
Did I pass?
man,
Yeah. Somebody else read this.
I was so happy, man. But
Oh my God.
So when it came in on the email, did you see, like, you didn't have to open it? Like, could you see, like, the first
well,
word?
it said NFLPA. I clicked on it, and literally it said congratulations.
Woo!
Yeah,
Let's go.
And look, so yeah, it was a beautiful day, man. So and then from that moment on, I just been grinding, trying to build my own agency. But yeah, it's hard though.
Do they retest you every year?
Nah,
Hell no, we're done.
Yeah.
No,
One and
but
done.
nah, they tried to do that though.
Right.
They tried,
But
but
there's
like,
got to
you
be
know,
some type of continuing education,
Yeah.
I'd imagine, right?
But they tried to do it, and the super agents was like,
Yeah.
Tom Condon was like,
they were not having
I
that.
haven't
Yeah.
looked at that book
I've been
in
in
30
classrooms
years.
since the
Yeah.
60s.
The craziest thing though, when I got certified, the year, so I got certified in 2019. Like 2018, they had like the yearly test.
Oh.
So I thought I had to take the yearly test, and nobody said anything about it. And I hit the other agents up, and they was like, "Nah,
Keep your head down.
Don't even
Just
sign
keep
up
your
for
head
that
down,
thing,
Robert.
dude.
I was like, oh, okay, wow. Like, I'm trying to see when the yearly test is. But yeah, man, it's hard, bro. But you really just gotta focus and concentrate and really just think about it because the questions are super long.
Ugh.
Like the questions are long, bro. It's like some pages have only 2 questions on it.
Oh.
So it's super long and
You got to, like, write out your answers, or is it multiple choice?
it's all multiple choice. So
I got a shot.
Yeah, we got a
Yeah.
shot. We got a shot. We got
Bro,
a
the
shot.
thing about it, you get like what 3 minutes per question. On number 1, I was on number 1 for like 25 minutes.
Bro.
I was so nervous. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I'm sitting there and I look up and I didn't even realize. And I looked at the time and I said,
No.
all right, I gotta focus. I gotta dig deep. I gotta.
I'm blowing it.
So I just
turned it on.
Yeah, I turned it on, bro.
Yeah.
Like
There's
it's just like playing football. 4 quarter crunch time.
Yeah.
Like,
Got
you gotta
hit.
do it.
Got hit.
Yeah.
Now I'm in it. All right, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
There's no
Let's
worse
go,
feeling than
man.
reading a test and
Yeah,
going to number
right.
1. Like,
Yeah, right.
I'll come back to that. We're going to number 2.
Literally.
Oh, I'll come back to that. Like,
Yep.
I don't know any of these, dude.
Right.
Like, then you start panicking. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
no, what am I doing in
Yeah.
here?
And when I take tests, I usually don't like to skip.
Yeah,
So I'm
right.
like on number 1 and I'm like, bro.
I got to get
what
moving.
is-
I'm in trouble.
And I looked up, I'm like 25 minutes? Still on number 1? Okay, all right. Let's focus. Let's do what we do, so but I passed the first time.
How much was the negotiating room? How much were you prepared from that? Did that get you to the point where you felt comfortable? What was your first contract negotiation like?
Well, so like it slided in. So DeJohn, he went undrafted, so everything slided. So it really wasn't anything to negotiate. So, but I'm pretty sure when when the rosters come out and the 53 comes out, we're gonna go back to that, and that'll be my first time negotiating. So I'm excited about it.
Is that an open negotiation with an undrafted guy that makes the 53? Because, I'd imagine you're like, hey, man, you didn't draft him, but now you
Yeah.
think he's one of your best.
Yeah, but see, like you say, like it's still
sliding.
slided.
Still
so
sliding.
you know what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So you can't really
Gotcha.
you know where to
Yeah.
go. You
Yeah.
know, so
But you get the leverage in 3 years.
exactly.
Right.
So
is his
actually
contract
2 years?
2 years? 'Cause
Well,
he's
his
undrafted.
contract is 3 years, so you can re-sign after the second year.
Right, player option for the third.
Yeah.
So because the first through fourth round picks have the
so the first round they get the 5th year option,
5th year option.
and then 2nd through 7th they sign the 4-year deals.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
As a potential NBA sports agent, do you believe the Pelicans can win a championship in that market?
I don't know, man. I doubt it. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't watch too much basketball, but I don't know. I can't say it, but you see it? You see it happening?
Well, I think the NBA has tried to prohibit
yeah.
the small markets.
Yeah.
I think Milwaukee kind of upended them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that for the most part, they would like their championships to lay in
the big
Los
markets,
Angeles
yeah.
and Brooklyn
Yeah.
and Miami and but it seems like New Orleans kind of has a formula
Yeah.
that could beat it. You know what I mean?
Man,
Because you got
just-
McCollum, Ingram, and Zion.
Just seeing what they did in the playoffs last year,
Right.
you got to be excited.
Absolutely.
So and I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see, man.
So what's a day like for a sports agent? Like, so are you just on the road? You on the phone? You in your office? What's it like?
It depends. It's pretty spontaneous. Because one day I can be on the phone with somebody, and then the next day I could be in Florida or Utah. You never know, you know. And I don't recruit just in the South. I recruit all over the nation. I know guys everywhere, you know. So one day I could be at home, and then the next day I could be in Cali, you know. So
one-man shop?
Yeah, it's just me.
Just you?
Yeah, it's just me right now.
So you answer the phones and
I do everything.
Get to the meetings.
Yep. So it's fun, you know. So I'm still building. I have a couple people who help me out a lot and stuff. So, but right now, for the most part, it's just me. But yeah.
How big is today in like retrospect of your career? Like I would imagine, obviously, test day was probably your biggest day in terms of like building your career, but today has to rank up there as well.
Man, today is going to be like career defining, no matter what happens.
Sure.
You know, because at the end of the day, something good is going to happen for DeJohn, and I'm excited for him. And then, you know, when that does happen, we're going to move forward. But it's probably like the biggest moment. So
yeah.
I'm excited.
This is Jerry Maguire, bro.
Yeah.
You're standing over the fax machine.
Literally. Literally.
Waiting to find out.
Man. So,
let's go, baby. Rod Tidwell.
Yeah. Literally, bro. Just waiting, man.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Literally, man. So it's exciting. And like I said, it's spontaneous, bro. We don't know what's going to happen. In the sports business, you don't know when or what's going to happen. So you just got to be on your toes and you got to be ready for whatever.
That's cool, man. Best of luck today.
Yeah,
it's been awesome to watch your client.
Yeah, thanks, man.
He's a baller. I
He
mean,
is, bro.
If it's not New Orleans, it's somewhere.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's the thing, man. I hope it's here.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
In the Bayou, it'll be dope. It'll be a blessing, but it'll be somewhere for sure.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming by this morning.
Anytime, man. Thanks for having me.
Robert Brock, soon to be super agent, but sports agent now, as he's doing it, man. He's got his guy, Deshaun Dixon. He'll find out today. Deshaun Dixon will find out.
3 o'clock?
What's going to happen? 3
Central?
o'clock. Central.
Yeah.
53-man
Thompson
roster.
will get your ass.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll keep you updated. All right, John Emery's coming through here at 8:30 this morning. We'll get back to some of what Brian Kelly had to say yesterday at his press conference. We'll take your reaction and your comments next here on YouTube for the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. I ended up at a lunch yesterday with 3 suits from WAFB.
In the J's?
In the J's, in the hat, in the T-shirt. I thought I was going to meet 1 suit, and we actually showed up to the same restaurant that 2 other suits were eating at. We all conjoined table and had an executive lunch with everybody from WAFB. A lot of good return on the show early on. A lot of good feedback. They think we ought to start fining for cursing in the first hour.
Fining who?
Fining for whoever does it.
Like fining each other?
Yeah.
We're going to have a swear jar?
A swear jar.
Okay.
Tough.
7 a.m. between the 7 and 8 a.m. hour.
It's Lloyd that would
That's
have
exactly
the
what they
problem.
said.
So
That's exactly what the suit said. He said, Lloyd pushes the envelope on the cussing thing we've talked about. Hey, how's the show? We're all kind of like passing the bread, you know what I mean? Like early, like I'm just trying to like fit in at this table. They're like, oh yeah, the show's good. What's the guy in on the couch? What's Lloyd? Is it Lloyd? Yeah, Lloyd. What about him? He sure does push the line on the cussing thing, doesn't he? Which, by the way, there's no rules to our contract at WAFB that states that, we can't cuss at a certain time or, we've got to change the show at any point. There's been no discussions of changing anything that we do from WAFB. That's the nucleus of LSU's team has to be from Louisiana. You can look up every championship run, and the nucleus of all of those squads have been from the state. You've always had outside influences, whether it's been Brandon LaFell or Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Like, pick the one that you want to bring in. But there's always been that one big time player. I think that the weekend that LSU had this past weekend, where they brought in like Ashton Stamps from Rummel, who's a DB from New Orleans, 3-star guy, but you've seen his recruitment really start to pick up. But then when you look at what they did outside of the area, and look, I'm big on guarding the state. Get Louisiana first, and then build your class outside of that. But if you can go into other states and you can take, teams, states' best players, like LSU did over the weekend. Jackson Howard's the number 1 player in Minnesota. Minnesota doesn't have any football. I get it that they don't have the traditional football, players, high school programs that Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia do. But if you can go in and take somebody's number 1 player, who was it? Tayshawn Bowers a few years ago, the big stand-up defensive end who was out of New Jersey. Mm-hmm. He was the number 1 player out of New Jersey that recruiting cycle. Came down here, took him a while. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To catch on, but by his senior season, he was a problem coming off the edge. I mean, you look at this guy, Jackson Howard from Minnesota, right? Like, I mean, he looks like an SEC football player. His physique, his style, the way he plays. You look at a guy like Joshua Mickens. Mickens is the number 1 player in the state of Indiana. All right, like Indiana football. You don't think of football when you think Indiana. You think basketball, right? But, I mean, you go in there and you take the top player who's a rush defensive end. When you watch the film, man, that guy looks like a SEC caliber type recruit, prospect. And LSU's able to get number 1 player in Minnesota, number 1 player in Indiana. Deshaun Womack, who we spoke to yesterday, a highly rated player in the state of Maryland. Deron Reed, who's a top flight player in the state of Georgia. I get going out and getting these elite players from around the country, and I think LSU has the brand to shop it nationally. But yes, I do believe that your core has to be from Louisiana. I mean, I think Dante Moore is the guy that they are waiting to find out what happens next. You're on camera, Lloyd.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think he's coming.
I really think that Ricky Collins is going to be the quarterback that LSU is going after. I really do. We had Denbrock through here. We had Joe Sloan through here. We've talked to Marcus Randall. We've talked to Rohan Davey. We've talked to people around Collins, and I think LSU feels that he's the one that they want, and he's the one that they can get at this point.
What did Marcus say?
That LSU needs to pick it up. I think that.
Oh, they're making up ground, I'm sure.
But look, Joe Sloan's done great with the quarterbacks. He really has. I think that Sloan is he is a relationship builder. He is a guy that understands and really embraces recruiting, and he knows that they need to sign a quarterback in this class, and Ricky Collins is an SEC caliber quarterback that LSU just they didn't have the relationship. The program didn't have the relationship built like it needed to be once Kelly and them took the job over. So they had to make up some ground. But I do believe that when it's all said and done, when it all shakes out, I think LSU is going to get a quarterback, and I think that it's going to be Ricky Collins. I'm not saying that the sky is falling, but I'm saying you're starting to see trends that are not normal within Louisiana recruiting, where you're seeing routinely the top players. I know that Arch Manning was never coming to LSU. Hell, I even know Eli Holstein was never coming to LSU. But I thought Derek Williams was going to come down to the end and he was going to have a chance to go to LSU. It felt like Derek Williams was never even close to coming to LSU. Right? And maybe it's the money. Maybe it is. I don't know what the deciding factor is. I know this, that after last night, I got some reaction from some college coaches around the country that just saw it, and they have Louisiana ties. It's nobody that's like watching the show looking. It's people that are just curious about what's going on at LSU and have Louisiana ties that are on staffs right now at Power 5 schools, and said, bro, you're spot on when you're talking about Frank Wilson. As somebody that is recruiting against LSU, that is going into Louisiana, we're looking around and we see purple and gold polos coming through the schools, and everybody's wondering, why isn't Frank here? Why isn't Frank in Louisiana? I'm not saying that it's right, wrong, or it's indifferent. I'm just telling you that the competition is saying, hey, man, there's a hole opening right now in Louisiana because they don't have their top soldier protecting it. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by our friends over at Go Chevrolet. Remember, our friends over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, they can take care of you today. Get in touch with Jude Barker and the crew over there. No social media, no website. You got to call them, 225-776-2431, 225-776-2431. They're number one and a number two business. They specialize in all works of plumbing, whether it's industrial, commercial, or residential. They got experienced carpenters on staff, which means in your next remodel, they can help you out, no matter if it's residential or industrial. No website, as we said, 225-776-2431. Mention the show and save yourself 15% over there at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, number one and a number two business. Our friend Jude Barker and the crew over there. Tell them you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show and save money. All right, Florida State, LSU. It is game week. It was good to hear from our guy, the sports agent that came through here, talking about what's going on. Mr. Robert Brock, remember what's going on with his client today and the Saints as they get down to 53. It'll be interesting to see how they get on that number, whether or not Dejon Dixon is going to be able to cross the line. Hopefully he will, man. He had a great training camp. He had a fantastic training camp. So we will see what happens today at 3 o'clock with the 53, and then Saints will kick it off at on September 11th versus the Atlanta Falcons. So after they make the 53 here, a couple of practice days and weeks for the NFL, and then football action, as we said, will be being played both through college and the NFL. And we were talking about college football yesterday. Brian Kelly, as we said, met with the media. He updated Malik Neighbors. He also announced his offensive line. He talked about the quarterback, which we gave reaction to. And, you know, I mean, from that standpoint, I went back and watched a little bit more of it. The Duquesne Florida State game was on digital ESPN, and just turned it on again the other night and was looking at Florida State's defense. And we talked about LSU's defensive line versus Florida State offensive line, just from the one game I've seen. And look, man, by no means do I can break down film, but I think even to the basic football fan, someone who covers the game, it jumps out at you if you've seen LSU's defensive line workout, practice, scrimmage, and you watched Florida State play the other day. You said to yourself, that ain't gonna work. That's gonna be a mismatch. Florida State's not going to be able to keep those guys in front of them and be able to contain those guys. He's not gonna be able to do it. Those guys are just too big, fast, and strong, and they're too deep. You know what I mean? We talk about the front four like we talked about yesterday with, you know, Ojulari and Gay outside and Roy and Mason Smith inside. But, I mean, even the depth behind those guys and the waves that they just keep coming at you in Florida State, I mean, the closer this game gets, it feels like, Florida State's really going to have a tough time if LSU can establish their will and get moving here to keep up. Because not only do I believe that there is a enormous, like huge, wide gap of a mismatch between LSU's defensive line and Florida State's offensive line. After going back and watching a little bit of Florida State again yesterday, I would say the same for their cornerbacks. Like, I mean, if you're watching their DBs, there is no way these guys that they trot out there for the opening series on defense can keep any of these cats in front of them.
Might have one.
Who?
Greedy Vance.
Maybe.
New Orleans kid.
Okay.
Gonna be back in the dome.
I mean.
But other than that, I didn't see anything like that. Was just like, oh.
Nothing that makes you believe. I mean, here's the deal about LSU is that you got to be 3-4 deep in cover guys, maybe even sometimes, like 4 or 5 deep in cover guys that you trust that you can put out there to guard. I mean, okay, you got one. All right, roll him to Kayshawn and put help over the top. What the hell are you going to do with Malik? What are you going to do with Brian Thomas, who it feels like is having a tremendous camp and really going to have an impact here early on? Jack Besh is back at full speed. There's just too many weapons for LSU in just the matchup on paper. I know that this thing, once you kick it off, man, there's a lot of things you can't account for, and football is football. I mean, it's going to be a physical game. Florida State's obviously they need this. I mean, Mike Norvell, LSU makes the return trip. It's a home and home, essentially. LSU goes to Orlando for this game next year. Norvell, he's got to win this year, or he's not coaching this game next year.
He might not even be coaching next week.
He's got to get 7 or 8 wins, and to get to that number, a lot like we've talked about with LSU, we anticipate they can get to 8-9 wins. They get to that number, they got to win this weekend. Florida State, to get to, that number, or at least have a momentum, almost job-saving win, what would feel like for Norvell, or at least the start to that, would be that he would have to win on Sunday. So, Norvell's got his back up against the wall in Tallahassee. This is it. It's either going to be him or Dion coaching in that game next year. And if he don't win, Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter will be dressed out in Florida State gear taking on LSU.
With all of his sons. Bring over.
I think his sons are seniors.
Are they? I thought he had one younger one. They've been there forever. They 10 toes.
Should be a senior.
But there was probably not a hotter seat aside from the people that actually got fired than Mike Norvell. Would you agree that there was some serious smoke? Yeah, Brian Harsin
or Scott Frost.
Oh my God.
I think that the top 3 seats that are boiling in college football are those 3.
You gotta feel bad for Scott Frost.
Harsin, and Norvell.
I feel terrible
because it came to a head a little bit last year after he lost. It was worth it. He could have won the game right there. No. I love the call. Let's go get us the win. Trying to put my foot on their throat. Turns out we're going to lose. It's okay.
Kick it deep, coach.
Kick it deep. You should have pinned him in the corner. Should have done the Cam Gamble. That always works.
Yeah, right.
Kick it out of bounds.
One thing that Kelly said yesterday that we've talked on a little bit through camp, he's
on the kicker.
He's still uneasy on his kicker.
Are we kicking it out the back?
What did he say? He was like, we still have a week.
Oh, good.
You know what I mean?
Somebody's going to come to the cream rises to the top,
right?
In the game week.
Somebody should take that step forward here in game week. You've been watching him for 6 weeks now.
A 37-yarder could get ugly.
Look, he's a little puckered up if he's got to send somebody out there for a 40-yarder to win.
Are we kicking it out the back of the end zone?
I think they're trying to.
Because that was awesome. Didn't have to worry about it ever.
Probably going to get a few line drivers.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. It sounds like Ramos is going to be the place kicker, and it sounds like there's still open competition to see who's going to be the kickoff specialist. And
where's Avery?
I would guess from a punt return standpoint, it would be Sage Ryan. just because
Or
Malik
Malik,
Neighbors
yeah.
is hurt.
It was Sage, Malik, and Seven Banks back there.
I'd love to see Seven
But
Banks.
they're both banged up though.
Yeah. Sage probably felt like the most natural back there, like at the scrimmage on Saturday.
Yeah.
He looked like the most comfortable.
And then it feels
Punch
like
were-
Armani Goodwin and I guess Malik Neighbors is another one that they've talked about putting back on kickoff. So I just look. The place kicker and the field goal specialist is concerning. It really is. You know, I mean, I think that, you know, obviously games come down to those situations where LSU's is just sitting in such a luxurious spot of having Cade York. I mean, did you see Cade York banging through 70-yard field goals in
He hit
pregame?
a
the other day in
70-yarder, then
Cleveland?
flipped around and hit a 60-yarder back to back.
He's just
I mean,
playing
that
with
is
us.
just
Well, LSU's just struggling for
embarrassing.
I mean, come give us a lesson.
a kicker. Yeah, something.
Come back.
Yeah.
Where Avery's gone, and like that's another luxury that you don't think about. Somebody
No
that
doubt.
just banged it out the back every single kick, especially after LSU's woes on like even that part of the game was like you could never sit down. You couldn't sit down in an LSU game in the last 10 years except for 2019. Like there was always
Still
something.
didn't sit down.
Yeah. Then I just wanted to stand up.
Yeah.
Then I couldn't stand up.
But yeah, I mean, I guess Ramos and Dibbert have kind
Hell yeah.
Separated themselves.
of yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man, but you will miss Cade York tremendously. It sounds like.
Cade, we miss you, guy.
Yeah,
Thank you for your service.
all of them. You know, I mean, all of the
Atkins.
Such a
specials.
luxury.
Avery Atkins,
Special
new
teams
deep
was special.
snapper.
Oh,
Oh god.
I mean, when's the last time you've taken a deep snap for granted? I mean, when's the last time you've thought that LSU? When's the last time they've made a mistake in deep snapping? I can't even.
You had
You
the
know,
Ferguson
yeah,
brothers.
They
Yeah,
went
we
through
went
all
through all
those
the
sets of
Fergs.
brothers from Buford, Georgia, that are now the Ferguson bros that are all in the league.
I think the new long snappers from Buford too. Skinner.
They've
Is that him?
rated that program for
what a factory.
Long snapper factory.
Long snapper you.
10 years, coach. Get
We need
yourself
the
a pension.
Fergusons to spit another one out. I would imagine, like, it's, you know, they're probably, what, 24, 25? Maybe start planning your life for LSU's sake.
I think they're both in the league.
Yeah. I know, that's what I'm saying. Start.
Where are they,
you know.
Miami and Buffalo?
Mm-hmm.
Same division.
The life.
God, I bet. Would you rather be in Miami or Buffalo?
Right now.
Buffalo, you have a chance to win, but
Buffalo,
Miami's
Buffalo,
Miami.
you got a chance to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's cold.
Miami.
as shit.
Still in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miami. I'm at the strip club. And I'm the long snapper.
Yeah.
As
As long as I don't throw over when
How
I'm
are the Dolphins doing? Who?
Build the team, right? 50?
You trying to go to the ocean?
Watch me
I
snap
mean,
this thing.
they say the Miami Heat, like if you listen to Levitard, them like the Miami Heat, like build in road wins. I mean, like home wins for teams that are coming in on the road between like October and February because they know that
It's strip club season.
I mean,
Yeah,
just
gotta
like
be the
the
strip
club.
nucleus of the roster is going to be out all night
South Beach
in
flu.
Miami. Just like, I mean, it's the best six man in the league. I mean,
James Harden's not playing tomorrow.
no doubt.
Oh, never.
When's the last time James Harden logged a regular season minute in Miami?
Can't play. This is my day off.
Can't
Like,
play.
Coach,
Sorry, guys.
I'm a scratch tonight, coach.
I'm not even.
I am
I'm not even
glad,
showing up
yeah.
at the facility. I'm
Healthy
calling
scratch.
it. But I guess to get back a little bit to LSU football, just because of the John Emery news and he's coming on. How do you see them divvying up the carries on the LSU front? Because I think obviously Noah Kane was brought in for a reason. I don't know if they knew about this when they brought Kane in, but I'm more excited, I think, to see Armani Goodwin just because of the flashes you saw last year, and where like every time he touched the football, you could see he had a little extra
Kinda a
juice.
little pucker up.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm wondering how they're going to divvy these things up because Brian Kelly said he's going to play all four, and I don't know if he meant for Florida State or if he meant throughout the year.
I think you meant throughout the year. I really do. I think that Brian Kelly is kind of you know, the more you talk to people around us, he's kind of a feel guy from that standpoint. Like he'll ride the hot hand, whoever's playing the best. And it feels like, you know, Goodwin has had the consistent best camp. Noah Kane's come on of late, and I think what they love about Kane and what you can pick up in just talking to people is that in pass protection, he's real solid. You know, I mean, he can stay out there. He doesn't really. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, which from a coaching standpoint, that's a beautiful thing. And I believe that Goodwin and Kane will get the majority of the reps come Sunday, but it kind of feels like a Goodwin type game, just from the summer off season. And look, I know he was a little banged up, but when he got right and healthy, it felt like he was even making a push at John Emery when Emery was right. So I believe that, Goodwin and Kane are obviously the two top dogs in the room if Emery is unavailable. But once Emery is kind of reestablished, I think that you'll have a really solid group with those three guys that you can win at this level. Not a standout guy like Kelly said. Leonard Fournette's not in that room. Jeremy Hill's not in that room. Joseph Adai's not in that room. Guys that you could just turn and hand it to 30 times in a game and just say, hey, man, get us out of here. You might have to win it for us today. And those guys could do that. I don't know if there's one guy on this roster that can do that or ready to do that just yet. But collectively, which LSU has had a ton of success doing by, using a committee at this position. Think 2011 when, Spencer Ware, Michael Ford, all those guys, Kenny Hilliard were coming at you. There wasn't one guy at certain points during the year. It felt like it was Kenny Hilliard's backfield. At certain points, it felt like it was Spencer Ware's backfield. Other points, it felt like Michael Ford's backfield. But they would all play. And it was tough to stop them. I think that, LSU can be effective in that type of attack from the running back spot with the talent that they have. Like we talked about in quarterback, very similar in skill set between Nussmeier and Daniels. Don't lose a lot out of the playbook when you play one or the other guy. You may call a couple of more quarterback keepers and runs with Daniels in there, but for the most part, same playbooks you can use with both guys. As far as the running backs go, I think that there's a unique skill set with each player that, you can utilize the strength on certain situations and really, get the best out of the position. You talk about, a guy like Goodwin, who's probably the most versatile of the group that can, he can play any style you want to play, it feels like. He can be rugged and run at you and run over you, or he can play a little bit more finesse and play out in the pass game and make you miss and get up the field. So, I love his versatility in the way that, he kind of gives you options back there. And then, Noah Kane is, who did I hear? Somebody made a great comparison. I thought it was very, Charlie Hannegriff made a comparison of Noah Kane to Nick Brissett. Said that, Brissett had a pretty solid senior year, 1,000-yard rusher, but he never flashed. Yeah. I think the best run he probably made was Miami. That thing, the hole was wide open. He kind of showed his speed, sprinted right into it, But, he also made some pretty tough first down runs that'll probably go overlooked that you don't recall. Made some good, grabs in the screen game. Made some good pickups in protection that probably went over. Solid is a great way to describe Nick Brissett. Solid. I think that would be the same description of Noah Kane, right? He's not going to go 70 on you, but he'll beat your ass for 3 hours, And you'll kind of look up and say, man,
I don't want to tackle him anymore.
I don't want no more of 21.
I'm done.
You know what I mean?
21, Coach.
I'm just done with him. And I think, they've thrown a lot of praise at Josh Williams, because of his consistency. And, consistency can go a long way to football coaches. I just think when it comes to the skill of the game, I think those two guys in Goodwin and Kane are just a little bit more advanced than Williams is. And then, I think when you get John Emery back, man, and hopefully that's sooner than later, and it feels like it's going to be a 2-game miss if they can't hear the appeal and get it overturned. I think that's a really solid room. Really. Three guys that you can win with at this level.
Three guys that will start at other SEC schools.
Absolutely.
And Armani's a great change of pace. Yep. When you talk about, kind of just ramming somebody with Noah Kane for 3 quarters and you pop Armani Goodwin in, and you're like, what? Who? What?
Yeah.
You get hit for 80 real quick. That's how you do it.
Hayden Paris asks, who's the best pass protector out of the group? It seems to be Noah Kane, and just judging by what the coaches say and He's been getting a lot of praise over the last couple of weeks for really his game coming together. Just kind of all of it starting to click for him. And, that part of it really kind of jumped off to, I know, a lot of the coaches of, he's a guy that you can keep him out there. So, I really think that was something that they've been looking at over the last couple of weeks. And, it sucked for John Emery because, I think that he was setting into having a pretty good camp, and then you could see his reps started to slide down. And, really, his demeanor, his body language, you could see it, man. He was fucking bummed. And obviously so. He got gut punched, very similar to the way that he was last season. And look, John's going to be here in a couple of minutes. And, man, I hate this for him. We're going to let him know how much we hate this for him. But we're also going to ask him, and if he's cool with it and wants to talk with it about it, hopefully we can. Just what happened? Bro, man, 15 games for what? I'm like, this seems like this is just overload. How can it not be deemed that this guy has served the punishment for whatever crime is behind this? Kid's never been in trouble off the field. Outside of the college stuff. He's never been a threat to be thrown off the team or anything. Right? And, we've gone over the story numerous times, but getting himself back into good academic standing like he's done, committing himself to the football program like he's pretty much always has been. It's not like that's been some big story. But also the year that was taken away from him for his professional life. We talked to Robert Brock here, the sports agent. If we asked him about John Emery's earning potential and how much his junior season in college meant to that, can you even weigh it? That's probably something that John Emery can never have that back. And Emery's had something to do with that. I'm not saying that he is without fault. But what I am saying is that he's paid his dues. You know what I mean? He's served his penance. And to see this carry over, and I know that we're beating a dead horse at this point. We've had this segment, we've already done this show, but it just sucks, man. It sucks. Think about what he's now lost again. Going to New Orleans in his senior season as the starting running back for LSU in front of his people, in front of his town, in front of his fan base. He'll never be able to experience that. And now, look, man, John Emery's probably going to go on to be a multimillionaire and have a really good NFL career. But in 3 years from now, I guarantee you he'd probably say, you know what, I'd give you my signing bonus back to get that game in the Dome my senior year. And all because some NCAA suit can't get over themselves and say, hey, come on, the Emery kid down in Baton Rouge has served enough, right? He's done all that we've asked him to do.
+2.
Right? He's out there committed. Look at the smile on his face down there, man. Look at where he is mentally. Look how checked in he gets. This is going to be a success story for us. That him serving that penalty for what we said what he did wrong has now spun him into getting everything straight, getting his grades right, committing to the football program, and getting himself set up to be a potential first-round draft pick. And now the NCAA got a hard on for 2 more games for John Emery. It just sucks, man. It's ridiculous. I hate it for him. I hate it for the program. I hate it for the fan base. I hate it for New Orleans. I hate it for the Dome on Sunday night. That's just good vibes for everybody, man. Damn. How good did he look in spring? All the people telling me, he wasn't having that good a fall camp. Yeah, because he got kicked in the nuts. He was on his way to have a good camp. And then 2 practices in, they tell him, bro, you might miss 2 games. Say what? After I've given you my life for the last 14 months, I got to give you 2 more games? Yeah, you think his reps fell off a little bit? You think his body language was down a couple of days? You think he mentally was not as engaged as he once was going into camp? You're damn right he wasn't. How could he be? But, I mean, all indications is that he'll be ready to go week 3. We'll talk to him next here on the Jordy Culotta Show and see, see what's going on about with what he's hearing the latest. Obviously. And look, man, we're celebrating that he's a part of the G Squad. Gordon McKernan signed him to an NIL deal. We'll talk about the NIL space, how it's helped him. I saw him over the weekend. He was serving caniacs over at Raising Cane's with his teammates. So all this NIL space and things. Look, still good stuff happening to Emery because he's still, looked at as the starting running back for LSU. When we come back, we'll talk to him here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Fresh legs, week 3.
Southern Eye Centers, located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the capital region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southerneyecenters.com. That is southerneyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out. southerneyecenters.com and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway. Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com. Best athlete to come out of New Iberia, Mark Roman?
Kayshawn Booty.
Kayshawn? Wow.
Right now, Kayshawn, Mark was a little bit before me. I was a ball boy. When Mark was playing at New Iberia Senior High School, I played like right after Mark. But Kayshawn has done some things, and just the things that you guys are seeing Kayshawn do, that he's not even scratching the surface of what we saw on a day-to-day basis at practice. And he's unreal. He's unreal.
He's so natural. It's so so easy. It looks so easy to him.
Yes, it's so easy, and there's never been another a competitor I've ever seen like Kayshawn. Kayshawn would not lose going to eat pregame meal. He has to be the first. He is the ultimate competitor. He would not lose. So trust me, he will be ready.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
We've seen the BK takeover stuff from LSU and social media, and really in his short time in Baton Rouge, there's been a lot of people embracing his his approach to building this roster. What's it like to recruit alongside him?
Oh, it's been great. Coach has been awesome to me because he lets me be myself when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to coaching. He lets his coaches coach, he lets his coaches recruit. So I have no complaints on that end. And when I need him to get in touch with a kid, he's there for me. The communication line has been great. He's just been nothing but supportive.
But this opportunity was different. You have a chance to come to a place with unbelievable tradition, work for the winningest head coach in college football. Just be at a state. I've never been at a state where football's king, and if you just dominate your state, you're going to get some of the best players that there are.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think, getting through spring, I mean, most of it was obviously just installing the offense. And I think all four guys really made some strides in terms of that and showed a lot of positives. Obviously, which, you guys get to talk about all the time. So you guys,
Sure.
But all four have done a great job. They did. I think they really did a really nice job in spring of taking strides forward individually, and everybody's different in terms of what they need to get better at and what they need to show. And then move it into summer, and I love the way they're working right now in the weight room for Coach Flint. But like I said, I think spring a lot was everything was new for everybody. So especially at the beginning, there wasn't as much evaluation, say the first few days, get into the flow, and then I think we got some good opportunities for some guys to get some reps, and I think everybody showed some positives.
Hey, Baton Rouge, when traveling through
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
All right, personal testimony from my trip over to Johnson Spillers. Shout out to my friend Dr. Chad Spillers for taking care of me, man. I had to have my front tooth, a tooth implanted, my front tooth, and it was a hell of an ordeal, but Dr. Spillers and the crew from Johnson Spillers made it as easy and seamless as possible to work with and have taken the final product, and it is absolutely beautiful. Learn more online at johnsonspillers.com. Whether you're looking for Botox or you need help in any type of dentistry, whether it is dentures, night guards, if you're looking for Invisalign, if you're interested in implant dentistry like I got, you can get in touch with Johnson Spillers. Online, johnsonspillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easiest way to get them, online at johnsonspillers.com. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. johnsonspillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, johnsonspillers.com. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our crew over at the G Squad, Gordon McKernan and the team over there. You've seen our commercials as we run through here, the Jordy Culotta Show daily. They just picked up another superstar. If you went by Raising Cane's over the weekend, our guy was throwing and putting together some boxes, some 3 fingers, some Caniacs for you. Now he's pimping the G Squad as he is here in his purple shirt with the logo on. Number 4 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts, out of New Orleans, John Emery. It's good to see you, bro. How are you?
Good to see you, man.
I told you in the break I wanted to fight everybody at the NCAA. I feel like I would kick all of the suits' asses right now. We'll get to all that. Tell me about NIL. How cool has this been for you? It seems like you've really had some success here with NIL.
Nah, I have. I've been doing a lot with NIL. I've been learning about it as time been going by, and I've been having a lot of different opportunities to make money. That's one, but meet a lot of new people and meet people that I didn't think I was gonna meet this early in college. It's just I've been networking a lot, and I've been learning about that type of that side of the world. Just that networking business. So
Gordon McKernan is a great person to know in this city. Obviously, to be a part of his team, I'd imagine, is very humbling. He sponsors what we got going on over here, so we very much appreciate his support on that. How cool is it to be a part of the squad?
Man, it was so cool. I wanted to be a part of it as soon as he came out with this deal, but I'm truly blessed, and I appreciate Gordon. I love the team that he have and what they have going on, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely, bro.
Got to recut the commercial. We got to get you in
there.
there.
No doubt, man. No doubt about it. All right, bro. You bumming, huh? Where are you right now? How is your headspace right now?
Honestly, it's like at times like it can get frustrating, but like I'm not down on it. I'm not dwelling on it. I'm not mourning. Like I just know I still have the opportunity to play, and I'm kind of right now. I'm just really locked in. The season right here, like is here. I know I don't have them 2 games, but man, I'm locked in. I have to stay prepared. That's my whole mindset.
Can you take me back to the beginning of this? Like, what happened?
Man, really, coming into college, I ain't take school as serious as I wish I did, It was just bad in the beginning, and then it caught up with me, and I tried to turn things around a little late. And when it had already caught up with me, and then, bam, that's just how it was, and I'm still dealing with it, even though I didn't turn things around like a long time ago.
Completely around.
Yeah, exactly. With a 3.8 to 3.9, like I'm gonna be honest. I never thought that I can get to a 3.9. And it's possible. And once I realized that it was possible to really just lock in and really just stay tuned into school and just basically taking care of things off the field and on the field, man. Like it's a great feeling. And I turned things around, and it was a little too late, like I said, but like I said, I still got the opportunity.
Yeah, right,
and
right. I mean, let's not. Yeah, I mean, you still got football left to play at LSU.
Yeah, exactly.
When did you find out that you had 2 games left on the suspension?
It was right before the summer started.
Really?
Yeah, it was at the end of spring. It hit me. I didn't, my coach Frank told me, and I didn't even see it coming at all. I think nobody really seen that coming. Everybody thought I was good. And they thought once I finished spring and, do great in spring, and I for sure be straight for the whole season, this upcoming whole season. But, that's when it was.
Is the appeal process still open, or has that been ruled upon yet? Do you know?
Yes, it's still open. But at this point, I don't
expect good news.
Yeah,
They haven't helped you out yet.
No, exactly. Like just with everything that's been going on, it's like I might have to just take my lick. That's just where I'm at with it.
I want to say so much. I wish you were not on the set with me so I could say it, because you would be sitting right here. How was fall camp for you? How was it? I mean, how? I mean, you're locked in. You're ready. But how was camp?
Nah, actually, I loved camp. I love being around my team. I love being around my coaches. I love being around the whole program. I love that everybody was tuned in, so it helped me be tuned. It helped me be even more tuned in, with everything. And, of course, like, my reps, you know, it was kind of different. It would, you know, because with my 2 games and all that. But, you know, I still got that working, you know. I was able to, you know, focus on my mental part of the game even more, you know. But it was nice though, you know. I loved it. It was pretty cool.
It seems like just from like the on the field stuff, practice was so efficient. Like there was not a lot of wasted time. Wasn't a lot of people standing around. There was not a lot of wasted minutes out there. What was your first camp like with Kelly? I know you went through spring, but what was it just like with under his direction and just he seems to like you a lot, by the way. I mean, it seems like y'all have a pretty good rapport.
Yeah, I love Coach Kelly, man. He's a great guy. He's a guy that's strictly, you know, that like to get to business, and also he loved to have his fun times. But like, you know, when it's time to handle business, it's time to handle business, and you know, he helped on that aspect a lot. But you know, my first camp with him, like I learned, you know, to be smart, you know, but also get work done, you know, and that's what Coach Kelly kind
work
of
smarter, not harder.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's what Coach Kelly kind of emphasized during this camp, and you know, we had our times when we went full contact and just went at it, but most of the time it was smart. It was like it felt like an NFL feeling, even though I didn't get that, but like, you know how they barely have contact. That's kind of how it was, and you know, it was actually like my body throughout, compared to my other camps that I've been in, like my body felt great compared to the other.
If you could spin it any way, you know, like find any positive to it, at least you're fresh, bro. Like when you come in third week, you are going to be like a Ferrari, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so tell me what you thought about Goodwin, Kane, Josh. How have they done, kind of from your point of view, leading up to this week?
Well, with Noah Kane, I think he caught on with the offense pretty fast, and I'm, you know, seeing what he did in high school, I'm not really surprised how well he did during camp. You know, and I am surprised how well he did coming off that injury he had. And he's a beast, you know. Even Josh too, you know. We have some dogs in the room. Even Armani, like you know, I'm actually proud of all of them. You know, they did what they had to do. You know, of course we came. You know, we all had some adversities, and with Coach Frank being in the room, we all picked up fast, and we know what the standard was, and that's what everybody know. And like, you know, we all get into it. It's like a different atmosphere in the room, you know.
How has been getting to know Denbrock's offense? How comfortable are you with it right now where you are in the installation?
Yeah, you know, after spring, you know, I'm pretty, like, I'm so comfortable with it now, you know, especially throughout this fall. Like, I remember during spring, it was hard for a couple of guys to pick up the offense, and, you know, it was like as soon as we went through football school during the summer, that's when people really started to lock in and tune in to the offense. Then fall camp came, and then we was rolling the whole offense. But, you know, I love the offense. I love how, you know, he gets the backs involved. He gets all the playmakers involved, you know. Everybody that's on the field is important.
Yeah.
You know,
y'all got weapons, bro.
Yes.
I mean,
we really do.
Y'all got weapons.
Yes, we
Everybody's
really
talking
do.
about Malik Neighbors. It seemed like he's had a great camp.
He has. He's like a Jamal 2.0.
Are you getting any looks kickoff return?
So I'm in the special teams. It's just with these 2 games.
Yeah, but I mean, once you get back, I mean, that feels like that fits you.
Yeah,
right?
nah, of course.
Deep man, right?
That's the plan.
You be the deep guy? Yeah.
I love to play kickoff too.
Do you?
I want to play
LSU way, dude.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I want to play kickoff. I just want to knock somebody's head off.
Hell yeah.
For some reason.
Week 3. They've been picked up for a year, dude.
I don't want to get you in any trouble. You don't have to, because Kelly's not saying who the starting quarterback is, but it feels like it's a very close. It doesn't matter who you guys go with.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
But you know, he made his decision, and man, it was tough. It was throughout the whole camp. I was just sitting there watching him, like, man, I just wonder who it's gonna be. And like, cause like throughout my whole, my whole time playing football, like I never seen a battle like this,
Yeah.
And man, and they're both good. And like Coach Kelly said, they're both gonna be playing. So
Yeah. Talk about you and Kelly, because as I said in the public yesterday, I mean, when he was asked about you again, he stopped and said, "Let me say this again. John Emery cannot do any more to be in better standing than what he is with LSU football and with the institution." So by that just description, it seems like since he's been on campus, you've been doing everything you're supposed to be doing, bro. That's the most frustrating part, I think, for the outsiders, and got to be for you. What is your relationship like with Kelly? How has that relationship grown to where he feels comfortable throwing bouquets in the public like that to you?
Man, honestly, like, so much respect to him, and I appreciate how much he's noticed and how much he's helped. He helped out so much. It's with the whole staff too. But Coach Kelly, he really motivated me. I remember when he first came in, I sat down in his office, and he didn't, no small talk. He said, "Man, look, if you don't get right, like, you're gonna have to get out of here." Like, and that was really it. I mean, I walked out the room. I said, "You know what?
It's time."
It's no more, BS. Like, it's time to get to it for real. And I love his attitude towards everything, and that's what motivates me, honestly. And as time go by, we still building our relationship, and by the end of this football season, it's gonna be great. And I feel like it's great right now. And I just appreciate everybody, really, man.
Yeah, bro.
For real.
How good is the defense?
The defense. We got some dogs on the defense, especially that defensive line, man. And then our secondary is just gonna be awesome for real. That D line though, something serious. Everybody on the D line. Mason Smith, I love his improvement. Like, I love like everybody, man. Honestly, the defense, I would say, in the secondary, Jay Ward, everybody. It just seems like everybody, is growing as a player. It then grew as a player already on the defense. So.
Yeah. You good mentally? You in a good place?
Yeah. I feel like I am. And sometimes, like I said, times get frustrating, but I know not to get too low.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I've been through worse. Hearing the news of me not playing for the whole season. That was tough. I remember I went through a time when I couldn't play, and I was just thinking, like, man, like, I was in the dark for about 2 weeks, 2 weeks strong, or 3 weeks strong, and somebody gave me a story. It was a way worse story of what I was going through at the time, and I was like, you know what? Let me get out this place and just get straight to it, because I just thought, like, opportunity. Like, I still have the opportunity. I'm not going to give up. And then I was hearing stories that guys that went through the same thing that just stopped, that just, didn't make it out,
Yeah.
And I said, no, it's not about to be me. I can't settle for that.
At the end of the day, it's all still there, right there for you.
No, exactly.
Like, you got 13 games?
Yeah, bro.
And,
No,
like, that's what I'm
exactly.
saying. You can take these, there's two ways to look at it where you could, like, I've just got hit, like, the hits keep coming. Like, there's no way you're about to suspend me again. Like, I thought I was good. But then when you look at it from your perspective, like, bro, I still have the majority of the season to play. And we talk about this all the time where it's like, this is your money year. Like, this is everything that you've ever wanted is right in front of you.
No, exactly.
So, week 3, bro, that's just, we turn it on.
Yes,
Where
sir.
is the SEC game, too?
Yeah.
Frank Wilson, how's he helped you through this process, or what's his relationship been like with you up to this point? I know y'all go way back.
Yeah, we do go way back. That's on, man. Man, he been there every step of the way. Honestly, he been my, the huge motivator for me. He's like my second dad for real. Like, he shoots for perfection for real. So like everything I do, even when I'm around him, I want to be perfect. It's not like I'm walking on eggshells, but it's like I want to be great for him and for myself, of course. But that's just the presence that he brings, and like that's his attitude too. Like, you know, he's a legend. That's how I look at him. So like, but you know, our relationship, we tight. That's.
When do you find out if you dress out?
I'm gonna find out today when we go to meetings and practice. I'm gonna find out. I just never asked him, you know. I never thought about it, but
If it was your choice, what would you do?
I would dress up. I would go. At first, when I heard about it, I was like, man, I got to deal with people asking me questions while I'm at the game and just hearing all this, but at the same time, I got to be there for my team, you know. I want to be there for my team.
Look at John Emery growing up, bro.
Yeah.
Look at you, man. Look at you, man. Look at him growing up, bro.
Nah, yeah. I want to be there, man. You know, we didn't, throughout this fall camp, they've been there.
Yeah.
My teammates, and, you know, I got to be there for them, too, as well. So.
Keep your head up, bro. Go be a dog.
Yes, sir.
John Emery representing the Gordon crew today. Gordon
Yes,
McKernan,
sir.
the
You
G
see it.
Squad.
You see
As
it.
always, you see him in the commercial
Yes, sir.
breaks.
Get it done.
The latest to the squad. John Emery, appreciate you, bro. Good to see you.
Appreciate y'all, man,
Yeah, man.
for real.
We'll be back with more of the show right after this on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like, share, comment button. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Yes, sir.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team.
Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Best athlete to come out of New Iberia, Mark Roman?
Kayshawn Buddha.
Kayshawn? Wow.
Right now, Kayshawn, and Mark was a little bit before me. I was a ball boy when Mark was playing at New Iberia Senior High School. I played like right after Mark, but Kayshawn just has done some things, and just the things that you guys are seeing Kayshawn do, that he's not even scratching the surface of what we saw on a day-to-day basis at practice. And he's unreal. He's unreal.
He's so natural. It's so so easy. It looks so easy to him.
Yes, it's so easy, and there's never been another a competitor I've ever seen like Kayshawn. Kayshawn would not lose going to eat pregame meal. He has to be the first. He is the ultimate competitor. He would not lose. So trust me, he will be ready.
Man, so kind of when I entered the transfer portal, I knew, what type of facility, what type of, program I wanted to go to. Being that before I committed to Ohio State, my first unofficial was to LSU.
Oh, wow.
And but that was when Coach O and Court Raymond was here or whatever. But definitely the coaches, the scheme Kelly, trying to bring in, trying to implement, his way of going, like detailed person. That's where I wanted to be. I know I want to be.
Did you have any experience with Coach Kelly?
No, I had no experience. No.
Really? Who was your main recruiter from LSU?
Sherman Wilson. Yeah, he was. Stay consistent. Honest. Just gave it to me straight.
Yeah.
And this is where I wanted to be.
How do you feel about that number at this university playing that position?
Yeah, man, I definitely want it. I definitely. He want to come in and prove, to my teammates, not just the coaches, but to my teammates that I got to go play with, that, I deserve it. And once I do that, then, everything is, up from there. Yeah.
We're all from different places and backgrounds.
Southern Eye Centers, located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the Capital Region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southernyecenters.com. That is southernyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out. southernyecenters.com and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway. Welcome back. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Appreciate our boy John Emery for stopping by here. Newest member of the G Squad over there with Gordon McKernan and crew. As always, man, we love what G has always supported us, man, from day one. And we'll always be grateful for that and always appreciate what he's got going on. And just look at the commercial, man. He's adding athletes every single day to his NIL space and really creating and making an impact there for the players. And John Emery coming through this morning representing the brand. It was cool to see him, man, and cool to talk to him about kind of where he is, man. I know people were talking about the level of John Emery's volume in the microphone and everything. Soft-spoken guy, and hopefully we can go back in and do a little post-production on that when we put it out. It bumped that.
I had him bumped up like all the way.
Bumped up, yeah, right. He got a little. He got some wheezy to him.
No doubt.
Definitely.
He sounds just like Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
He does have a little wheezy.
That
to
little
him.
rasp.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens.
But one of the points that Emery was talking about and what we got going on over here is we are getting and really have been in the agency space, the marketing agency space, the digital marketing agency space, right? This all started from a podcast out of the back of our house a year ago. You know the story. Through that year, we were just surviving off of selling advertisement throughout the podcast. It was working. It was keeping the lights on. But as far as longevity, we weren't going to be able to make a life out of it, make a career out of it. When we moved into the studio on January 1st, we went in with the mindset, Katie and I, as business partners and with the support group that we had around us working, said we need to make this a business. And the way to make this a business is to scale it out to become a digital marketing agency. All these clients that we're talking to and have these relationships with, that we're pitching them these advertising ideas and podcasting marketing plans, we should expand that, because a lot of the conversations that we're having with these people at C-level management within organizations is that they want to grow, they understand that they need to grow, but they don't know how to 2022 edition of growth and what it looks like, and that being really all digital, right? Social media, website optimization, search engine optimization, all of that stuff. I have a background in that and have a great team around me that really understands that space. And we've been doing, it now for a couple of months and have had some pretty good success here starting out. RMB, we're managing their Instagram for them. We're doing a really big campaign right now for Mike Anderson Seafood. We got some stuff we're going on with Bowie Outfitters. Just really kind of taking off because of the creative people we have in the right space. One of those people is Taylor O'Brien. We met Taylor through some of the football relationships that we have, through some of the assistant coaches over at LSU. Taylor has a background. I'll let him tell you about himself. I'm not going to speak for him while he's sitting right here. But he does great work, which has gotten the attention of these football players, right? If you saw some of the reels that we posted yesterday to the Culotta Show account, that's all Taylor's work that has, players like John Emery tagged to it, and Emery and those guys see this stuff. Right? I mean, can you imagine what that would have been like for us? What it was like to watch your film when you were in high school, but to have that kind of isolated with these movie Hollywood effects to it? Or, in my case, I can't wait to have Taylor out at the football field to check out what Lil Jay's doing, right? And have him cutting that stuff up. He's done tremendous work. He's on our team now. He's out shooting games. We've got him credentialed for all of the LSU football games. He's made a really big impact on what's going on out there. I'm done talking about you in front of your face, bro. It is good to see you. Taylor O'Brien of Tailored Technique Media is here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show. What up, man? Good morning.
What's up, man? Good morning. Thanks for having me. I met Jordy. I was at the LSU practice, and I ended up, he walked up to me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Jordy." And I'm like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Taylor." And it was an instant bond because his energy was just good. And so from there, we always knew of each other. Jordan Archimont, a good friend, came up from same area, kind of knew of each other. And so, one thing led to the next. And then I think whenever Jordy hit me up, we did a video collab together, and I'm not sure.
It's still going viral.
Yeah.
This morning when I woke up, it still had 25 new likes on it since midnight, and that was at 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, it's had 150,000 views, but
I think that was the day we got banned.
Yeah, you got banned. The day we met.
Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, the day we met, you got
I deleted the YouTube channel. You get banned for practice.
Yeah.
We're doing everything right.
Yeah, my buddy Hunter and I were so excited to work together with Jordy, and then the announcement was Jordy's team is kicked out of media, and I'm like, oh, we picked the wrong one, bro.
We got on the wrong horse, dog.
Yeah.
Our horse is dead.
You can lead him to water, can't make him drink.
Right.
But you always find a way out,
Absolutely, bro. And you were with us yesterday at the press conference, and now we'll get a lot of that stuff out. We got some cool stuff going on, obviously, with Dawn of the Legacy that he is working on. But you really understand this space, man. You are a South Louisiana native. You've been kind of working down at the mouth of the river, and you kind of figured this out organically that this might work, right?
Yeah. I started as a fitness trainer. Couldn't afford a videographer, so went to YouTube, started learning from there, and then practicing on my clients, testimonials, and from there, people were just fascinated by the impact it had and its reach. So I took it towards my first love was football, and I went out to an elite camp recently with a bunch of high school students, and I was filming with one person, and then the next day I went back and I seen like some dads that were filming their sons with like their cell phones, and it was like 50 yards away.
Yeah.
And a big thing for me growing up was my dad in my life during football.
True.
So I went up to those dads and I'm like, hey man, which one's your son? And he's like, that one right there. So I just put the camera on him. Got some good footage, showed the dad, and he was like, "Oh my
I'll
God.
pay whatever."
Yeah,
What is the perfect
this?
example, dude.
Yeah. So giving them that feeling, man, that was like something. That's a cool thing to do. And I edited it up, posted, and like I never expected that next thing to happen.
Wow.
Man, it just blew. And like from there, I was like, "What is this?" Like I've been trying to teach people how to lift biceps correctly. I'm doing it wrong, And so I got into the football. You put some cool music. You take your time, And from there, man, I started doing stuff with, I did a video with Jack on TikTok, and it got like 1.1 million views.
Wow.
My buddy Hunter, he's always got the camera on me. So it's pretty cool, And over the last 30 days, we reached like 2 million accounts based off the analytics. So John, I caught John at practice. His energy right here is a lot different than what it was on the field. Like, he's a savage. He was just running through people. And you got to shoot your shot. Hey, man, I got some footage of you. If you want it, cool. If not, I'll
keep
post
it for
it
me.
anyway.
Yeah.
That's why Taylor fits in on the team.
Yeah.
It's my camera.
Got something to say, speak up.
But it's the Mecca at LSU,
Yeah, man. Well, your work's fantastic. Make sure and check it out on Instagram at Tailored Technique. And as we said, he's a part of our team over here at FM Digital Media, and a couple of projects we got going on. He'll be heading up our creative team with LSU football and some of the stuff we're picking up through video this season. And like I said, we've got FM Agency over here, in which we are expanding our reach and really starting to see some early signs of success on that side of it. And Taylor and his creative eye will have a lot to say about that. So we got a lot of exciting stuff going on over here, and stuff that we can't wait to tell you about, and stuff that we'll be introducing you to. Stuff like Hold the Rope tonight at 6 o'clock, which Lloyd is super fired up to work with the legends of the trade, Mr. Tommy Christ-Sand from later back in the day radio. He comes from the same era as Buddy Sanji, Charlie Hannegriff, Jimmy Yacht, and the crew.
The
Dick
Dons.
Condon, the Dons,
The
dude.
old radio.
The old guard, bro. It's Tommy Christ-Sand now on YouTube. Who'd have thunk it?
You can say whatever you want on here.
Right. TK and the crew. So, Lloyd, y'all going from Hold the Rope tonight, right?
Yeah, from Hold the Rope on YouTube, obviously. It's Hold the Rope with Skip and Cano is the full name. I believe tonight we have LSU baseball head coach Jay Johnson in studio, so it'll be a big get. Him and Skip sitting down together. Little passing of the torch. Maybe get some, tell him how it's all about the camp money. We'll get Jay Johnson to run some camps.
That's right.
You don't have the camp money.
Last week was great. Hopefully tonight's another great show with Skip and the crew. Check them out, 6 o'clock. Hold the Rope, and like we were doing with, like we've done with Mic'd Up and Where My Dog's At and the rest of the FM Digital Media family, if you just simply go to the Jordy Culotta Show YouTube account, right there on the main page, you will see links to all of the other shows, whether it's Mic'd Up, Hold the Rope, Where My Dog's At. You did that?
Yeah.
Great work.
Thank you, sir.
Great job. Every now and again, a squirrel finds a nut. Clock's wrong twice a day, Stewie. Clock's wrong twice. Clock's right twice a day. I screwed it up. Even I screwed that one up. All right, man. Taylor, great work, bro. Keep it up, man. Make sure and check him out on IG at Tailored Technique. And keep up what we got going on over here. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Check out Hold the Rope, 6 o'clock tonight. Go Chevrolet, driving us every day.